Start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions,
Your show is scheduled to start in 27 seconds. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. This show is brought to you by justinformed.com. Social media site that doesn't sell you out, doesn't sell your data, none of that crazy stuff. We don't spy on you. The site is developed and created by activists and journalists, regular folks. So come to justinformed.com, become a member, sign up, and tell them that Tim Black sent you. All right, guys. Oh, the show is also brought to you by none other than the Truth Bomb activist over there on YouTube and Facebook, and the Tim Black Wolf Pack, my friends on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Periscope and Roku and everywhere. Become a member of Tim Black's Wolf Pack by going to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Today.
Tim Black. Tim Black.
All right, guys, let's do this.
Tim Black.
What a night.
Yes, I am.
End it. All right, guys, we're all set. There's been a lot of drama. All right, guys, welcome to Freedom Friday. This is a show where you get to call up and you get to speak whatever on your mind. That's what Freedom Friday is all about, having conversations with the whole world, using this internet thing like it's supposed to be as a communication device. No more one-way conversations on Freedom Friday. We talk. You talk back. We talk. It's a conversation. So look, guys, I got a couple stories. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really gotten to the bottom of one of them. I kind of know. The other two, I'm kind of like getting caught up on. So we're going to have to kind of dive into this together. They're all kind of major news, like really swirling news. I don't know how much of this has been covered in mainstream media. I was very busy today working on my State of the Union wrap-up. Now, I don't know what's up with Twitter. I tried to send it out to let people know that it's available. So go to my YouTube channel. There you will find my video of the State of the Union, plus not only an analysis of the State of the Union, but I also take a look at and give a breakdown of Stacey Abrams' speech, Kamala Harris, and Bernie Sanders as well. So look, the actual State of the Union was an hour and a half by itself. You throw in Bernie's half an hour. Throw in Stacey's speech of about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and you throw in Kamala, that's like 2 hours, two hours and some change, right? So almost 2.5 hours, actually. So my video is 40 minutes, and besides, it's got me in it, so. So check out that video on YouTube. All right. So I've been working on that for the last couple of days, well, since yesterday. And I'm sleep deprived because I knew I needed to get it out as soon as possible. And give a shout out to my Patreon, Tony Myers, and my Tim Black, how can I say this? My Tim Black Brain Trust group. Now, the Brain Trust Group are people who give the most to the show, like Tony. He's in the Brain Trust Group. If you want to get into the Brain Trust Group, where you actually have, we actually talk privately, personally, and like think about ways of what type of content to put out. And it was a decision. Like we had a conversation, and I said, I was like overwhelmed. Like, man, I don't know if I feel like doing a complete breakdown of the State of the Union. And Tony was like, Tim, why don't you just do a sort of a satirical breakdown using like little bits from all of them and put it out. Take a little jab at them and give an overview. So me, I said, that sounds like a good idea. A good idea is a good idea regardless of who comes up with it, right? And but me, being who I am, I took it to the fullest extent. So it's very detailed, and I think you guys are going to really like it. And so anyway, check that out. And shout out to Tony. And if you want to join my Brain Trust Group, email me at tim@timblacktv.com, and I'll tell you all about it. All right. Now let me put the phone number up for anybody who doesn't have the phone number. Phone number is 319-527-6212. And dial in, and we can get this cracking. Okay, so Virginia has been, I don't know what's going on with Virginia, man. Virginia, the new Florida? I don't know. Is it the new, I don't know what it is. Is it the new, gosh. Now, we all knew about Ralph Northam, right? He's the Virginia governor who got caught with blackface, right? And it's okay to get caught with blackface if you actually have a black face, if you're actually black. It's cool. But if you're a white guy and you're walking around with blackface, that don't look right, right? It's like, why would you do that? And it wasn't just that. It was other stuff, too. I saw a video where he wouldn't shake the black guy's hand. Like, what's going on with that? Then he wouldn't let a black guy, who I think the lieutenant, he wouldn't even allow him to appear on the flyer when they were campaigning. Like, they left him off the flyer. It's like, what's up with this? And then his nickname was Coon Man. That kind of sealed it for me, see? That kind of sealed it when, your nickname is Coon Man. Those who don't know, that's a derogatory term that describes black people. And it's right there in his yearbook, right under his face, his name, Coon Man, in parentheses. That was his nickname. And that was, so they had some running joke about him. So to me, that meant he had dressed up this way, and they start calling him that because he wore blackface. Okay, so all of the media attention to it, people calling for him to resign his position and turn over the keys to his lieutenant, and that's kind of where I left it, to be honest. I think once people feel that they can't trust you, you should leave. Like, it's not just, for me, it's not just that it was racist, right? That's not, how can I say this, guys? If we started kicking out every racist, there'd be a lot of open jobs. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There'd be a lot of open jobs. First, you got to prove they're racist. And you got to, how would you prove all these people are racist? I believe that racist people exist, just like Patriots fans. Like, there are racist people all over the country. There are people who are not racist, and there are people who are, and they just think everybody's like them. Sort of like, I think that, beating women up is not a thing I would ever do, right? I don't go around punching women. So I think naturally that most guys don't do that. But there are people that punch women. So you can't look at life just based on you. And I know that's what we do. We look at life, we just look at our neighbors. Maybe we judge life based on people nearest to us. And we leave out, there are all kinds of degenerates, scumbags, and lowlifes. So, back to my point. My point is this. And we walked around getting rid of all the racists and kicking them out of office and saying because you're racist you can't work here. Well, like I said, the country wouldn't run because there's too many racists. There are racist doctors and lawyers and teachers, and I think people, I don't know where people come from with this idea that that we've gone to this place we haven't gone to. You would like to think that because it makes you feel better, but it's not true. The same thing goes for a lot of other stuff that's wrong with this country. So anyway, the reason why I think Ralph Northam should leave is because people don't trust you. I know I wouldn't want to live in a state where a guy did that. And I wouldn't trust him, especially after he lied. First he said it was him, then he said it wasn't him. Now he's like, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. And then people were like, get the hell out. He was like, well, no, I think I should stay. Like, dude, get the hell. So I think once you lose the confidence of the people you're supposed to serve, because he is a servant of the people, at that point I think it's time to say, peace, my brother. So anyway, so that's where we pick up. And now there's a whole nother situation brewing where they say a crisis in Virginia, right? Because it's not just him now. His lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, he would have succeeded Northam, but a college professor has accused Fairfax of sexually assaulting her back in 2004. Now, it says here that the accusation that the Washington Post appeared to find credible, if uncorroborated, when she contacted them back about in 2017. Fairfax says the encounter was consensual, but a second accuser came public on Friday, saying that the lieutenant governor had raped her in college. All right, so see what I'm saying here? So you got the lieutenant governor who was supposed to take Northam's position. Now he's under fire for not one, but two sexual assaults or two rapes. And I don't know what to make of it. I wasn't in the room. I know what these women are saying. And I haven't looked at, did anybody press charges? Why is this guy, he's been in office for a while, my understanding is, it's like always a situation where people got to use their judgment and try to figure it out. He's saying he's being smeared. Obviously, the women are saying that, the women say he did what he did, okay? So a horrible thing, horrible situation. And I'm not even going to guess about it, about what should happen with it. All I know is, someone contacted me like, Tim, they think it's politically motivated, that the Democratic Party wants to keep Northam in office, and with this fallout surrounding his lieutenant, then it's more likely he's more likely to stay in office. I don't know. That's a theory, right? People have theories. And that was from a woman, mind you. So that wasn't a guy. It was a woman who wrote me that. I'm like, I don't know, So, we have this stereotypical thing going on where we think whenever a woman accuses a man, that there's a bunch of men going, no, why you don't believe her? Well, there are women who are very skeptical of other women when they make allegations like this. So in this particular instance with me, it was a woman who contacted me, basically saying what she thought. So, like I said, I haven't read this document. I haven't read the numerous articles. I haven't read exactly what the statements were regarding the incidents. But it's not over because there's more drama in Virginia. All right? Attorney General Mark Herring, who would have been the next in line of succession after Fairfax, had revealed on Wednesday morning that he had also appeared in blackface at a college party in the 80s. All right. Now, I don't want to smear everybody in Virginia. I don't want to smear them. But since I live so close to Virginia, I think I can speak about Virginia, okay? Because I've lived here in the D.C. metropolitan area my entire life and never lived in another area, okay? And I can tell you this. People have always been like, Tim, won't you move to Virginia? And I've been like, no. Right? But you live so close to it. Like, no, it's racist. Like, I've always felt that way about Virginia. Yeah, I know they had Governor Wilder, Doug Wilder, black guy. I remember that. That was cool. He was Obama white, though. Well, Obama black, I'm sorry. He was Obama black. Like, not really, not Tim Black, okay? Not black like this jacket. Not black like me, but like really light skinned. And, sometimes white people feel more comfortable with that. Right? So that's not enough for me for people to say, oh, we had Doug Wilder. I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't know if he really identifies as black. What's that got to do with it? Maybe white people saw him and they don't see him as black. I don't know. So my experience as a person who's lived my entire life in this area, I've always saw parts of Virginia as being racist. And I'm sorry, and I'm sure there are people who live in Virginia who looked over to D.C. and thought it was violent and full of a bunch of thugs. That's what they thought. Maryland, not as much, but certain parts of Maryland, they thought the same thing, too many blacks. I mean, it's like there's been a lot of drama in this area, in the nation's capital. You never hear about it, or you don't hear about it often because it's not reported on. Like, people talk about Chicago, they talk about L.A., they talk about New York. They'll very rarely talk about D.C., other than to talk about politics in Georgetown and where the rich people live, but they don't really talk about the suburbs as much. So that's been my experience. How does it relate to this? Well, if you got a situation where you got an attorney general and a governor, both of them have a proclivity, right, have a fetish to dress in blackface, that's a problem. That's a problem. All right? I know what Megyn Kelly said. It just goes to my point of racism. You know what I mean? It's just so bad. Even if all three of these guys got kicked out of office, it's like if Northam left, it appears that Fairfax can't replace him because they want him gone too. And if Fairfax left, it appears that what's the other guy, Herring, can't replace him because he also did the same thing Northam did. So we got just a big cluster. We got a huge clusterfuck of drama, right? I don't know, man. It's like this is like it's like racism in the air. It's a majestic pixie dust of racism floating around Virginia. And I know if you live in Virginia and you're not like these guys or you don't want these people representing you, well, look, I'm not saying that you're like these people. You could be totally, like I know some guy. I've got a friend in West Virginia, a really good friend of the show, who's been supportive of the show and part of my Brain Trust group. And, he's been very helpful. He's really cool. He's a cool guy. And his name's Rob. Me and him, I consider him a real life friend, a close friend at that. So I don't want to paint all of Virginia that way. I just want to say, God damn, man, what's going on with Virginia? That's all I'm saying. Can't get rid of this guy because this guy sucks. Can't get rid of this guy because this guy sucks. And then I got somebody on the phone telling me, hey, Tim, don't trust any of this stuff because I think they just want to keep the bad guy number one because they don't want bad guy number two getting his job. So now they're going to sink bad guy number two to keep bad guy number one. And then bad guy number three, I don't even know what his story is. So this is crazy. It's crazy, guys. All right, so your guess is as good as mine. There's so many people. Just one last thing. I just want to say all the people that are chiming in on this. It's like everybody from the Democratic Party has jumped in and said, Fairfax needs to go, okay? Now, Fairfax said, I deny this latest unsubstantiated allegation. It is demonstrably false. I have never forced myself on anyone, ever. It is obvious that it's a vicious and coordinated smear campaign. It's being orchestrated against me, and I will not resign. So Fairfax accused of making, and this is going to get graphic, so A woman accuses Fairfax of making her perform a sex act. So put that together, grown up adult people, and you figure that out. And then the second one is a woman accusing him of rape. Okay? And he says demonstrably false. That would mean you have evidence to prove that it's false, right? Okay. And he will not resign. Now, the Virginia House and the Senate Democrats say, due to the serious nature of these allegations, we believe Lieutenant Governor Fairfax can no longer fulfill his duties to the Commonwealth. He needs to address this as a private citizen. The time has come for him to step down. Virginia Legislative Black Caucus. While we believe that anyone accused of such a grievous and harmful act must receive the due process prescribed by the Constitution, we can't see it in the best interest of the Commonwealth of Virginia for the Lieutenant Governor to remain in his role. Virginia Democratic Delegate Patrick Hope, on Monday I will be introducing articles of impeachment for Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax if he has not resigned before then. Former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, the allegations against Justin Fairfax are serious and credible. It's clear to me that he can no longer effectively serve the people of Virginia as Lieutenant Governor. I call for his immediate resignation. Senator Cory Booker, as we know, he's announced his bid for presidency, or the Democratic nomination for presidency. A Democrat out of New Jersey says, the multiple detailed allegations against Lieutenant Governor of Virginia are deeply troubling. They are serious, credible, and corroborated by others. It is no longer appropriate for him to serve. He should resign. Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, with this second serious and credible allegation of sexual assault, Justin Fairfax should resign. It just keeps going, guys. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand also announced that she's running. She had to weigh in. I guess, you know what, I think all the presidential candidates have to weigh in. So she said this new allegation from Meredith Watson that Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax raped her, corroborated by at least two named individuals. See, I didn't know that. See, here we go. See, in the first document, I did not read that part. So it's corroborated. Okay. This is what I have to say, guys. Should I finish her statement? Let me say this, okay? There's this movement right now. It's called #TheMFirst. Okay? And that hashtag movement, right, is about black people and about being like accused of stuff of like sexual harassment or rape or whatever. And they're saying there's a lot of rich white guys who get accused of stuff and we don't hear anything about them. They get in trouble and then we don't hear anything. And it's saying, okay, we want to get rid of predators, but what about, you go first. Get rid of your predators. So it's become this thing where like, okay, we hate predators too. Get rid of that guy back there first. Then we'll get rid of our guy. Stop. Why you keep getting, you got bad. Look, get rid of Harvey. And the guy from Dawson's Creek or Full House or whatever the hell. This guy from the movie that with the guy with the cap on his head. And then this guy over here, the funny looking dude. Remember him? And this slime ball here, this fake agent guy, this guy. And remember that other. So like they got like a list of like 30 guys, right? From Dustin Hoffman to Woody Allen. They're like, hey, these guys just keep doing crap and all. What's up? Get rid of these people. So I agree, right, that it does seem kind of weird that like everybody knows about Woody Allen, they know about the other guy who fled the country. There's been a whole lot of allegations since the Me Too movement started. And like, yeah. But though I agree that those guys need to, be handled, I can't support anybody who rapes anyone. Like, I'm just not going to do that. you got to handle it in court. You know, you got to handle it in court. You got to, you know, when someone makes an allegation like that, unfortunately, you got to look into it. I mean, damn, it could happen to anybody. Somebody could say that to anyone. But you got two women making the same allegation, and one of the women has witnesses. I don't know how substantial. I haven't looked at it. There's going to be people like, Tim, you didn't read it. These women, they weren't there. They say are witnesses are people she says she told, and they're friends of hers who could be lying. I don't know. So basically all I'm saying is, can we just agree to get all the scumbags? I do think power has something to do with it, and particularly when it comes to like the Hollywood stuff. And I think these people have money to fight. If you got money, you got power, well, you can kind of like handle business. You can kind of like keep things at bay. So anyway, back to Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. She says this allegation from Meredith Watson and Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax raped her, corroborated by at least 2 named individuals in interviews and emails, is sickening and horrendous. I believe Meredith Watson and Dr. Tyson, and it was extremely brave for them to come forward. Mr. Fairfax should resign and no longer serve the Commonwealth of Virginia. Kamala Harris said the allegations by Dr. Vanessa Tyson and Meredith Watson are corroborated. Painful stories of sexual assault and rape. It's clear Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax should resign his office. Also, Julian Castro, he's also a candidate for the Democratic nomination. He said, last Friday I called Governor Northam to resign immediately. 2 days ago, I stated that I believe the claim regarding Lieutenant Governor Fairfax. Tonight I call on both of them to step aside and allow the great state of Virginia to heal and move forward. Julian Castro is the only one that actually mentioned that he wants both of them to go. I had to check him out a little bit more. I know he worked for HUD. He was HUD secretary under Obama, right? Yeah. Okay, guys. I don't know, guys. I'm definitely going to check out comments, and if anybody knows anything or anybody has information, maybe they've been staying up with this situation, they want to call in, please do, because I think the community can really use your input on that story. All right. I don't see anyone really talking about it. They're talking about other stuff, but not about that. So, anyway, if anybody, Roman Polanski, that's it, Lois. Thank you, Lois. Thanks, Lois. Roman Polanski is the name of the guy who fled the country. Okay. So I'm going to leave Ralph Northam's story alone, because we got other stuff. There's more going on. I told you, man, it's busy as hell. Let's go with Amy Klobuchar. All right, let's go with Amy Klobuchar. All right. When you run for office, people dig into your ass, frankly. It's like, hey, what you doing back there? It's not time for my exam yet. What you doing? Amy Klobuchar, as you guys know, she's announcing, well, if you don't know, she was announcing her candidacy to get the nomination for the Democratic Party. And, so I think she was supposed to announce that really recently, like Sunday or today. Turns out, some stories have been circulating about her being a horrible individual. When I say horrible individual, I mean a horrible individual. Like toxic. Like that movie Bad Bosses, they're saying she is that. And she seems so nice when you see her on TV. Hi. What you doing over there? Did you finish and get my papers? Where my damn papers at? You can't do nothing right, you big dummy. Oh, hi. Hello. How's everyone? You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know people like that, right? What you doing over here? Get your ass out of here. You can't do nothing right. Just as dumb. Look at you. Just dumb, dumb, dumb. Whole family dumb, too. Oh, hello. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Mwah. That's what they say is Amy Klobuchar. I saw her, man. I tell you, man, we are all infected with like this thing where we look at people and we make judgments based on how they look. And we're all infected by white supremacy, man. I don't know why. Look, here goes some real talk, guys. Everybody's affected by white supremacy. All right? And what I mean by that is, I remember, I'm going to admit this, when I saw Amy Klobuchar interview Brett Kavanaugh, and Brett Kavanaugh was snippy with her. And for folks who don't know, she's a senator from Minnesota. Okay? When I saw Brett Kavanaugh be snippy with her, it pissed me off a little bit. It's like, look at Brett being an asshole to little cute Amy Klobuchar. You bastard. What are you doing who saw it? Anybody else see it? Like, it's my job to watch a lot of footage to know what's going on. And something like testimonies are really good because there's no spin. I get to watch the real thing play out. Okay? For somebody who doesn't have a staff, it is really scary when I got to rely on like the New York Times or the Washington Post or BuzzFeed. Oh my God, right? You know what I'm saying? This is dangerous as hell. So I watched the footage of the Brett Kavanaugh testimony. Watched the whole thing. I reported on it. You know that. Anyway, there was one part, I think, where Amy Klobuchar was questioning Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh got snippy, and it bothered me. It pissed me off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now, it wasn't enough for me to be like Liam Neeson. I wasn't like Liam Neeson, want to go out with a kush or a kush or whatever the hell, a kosh. Go out with the kosh and look for him. Look for someone with the kosh. These bastards. Black bastards. I was going to take a kosh and beat a black bastard to death. I don't know what came over me. I wasn't like that. Plus, Brett Kavanaugh's a white dude. But here's the thing. I just thought she was a little, she seemed like a petite little white lady, and I assumed that meant she was a good person. And see, that's what I mean about white supremacy, man, because we think this now, if she was I don't know if she was black or Latino, would I have thought that? When he got snippy, would I have been the same way? Because I think, So, it turns out Amy, allegedly, is a real asshole. Like, real asshole. Like, I was reading this document, and these are employees that work for her. Former staff members are saying, she's hell on wheels, man. Yeah, like, she's horrible, like, yelling and cussing and throwing stuff. Throwing fits, like, pick that up. Here you go, Amy. Pick it up again. Like real asshole. And they say it's so bad. It says Klobuchar, a Democrat who plans to announce whether she's running for president at a rally in Minneapolis on Sunday, has faced trouble hiring campaign aides because of a history of mistreating staff. Right? A spokesperson for Reid said the retired senator prefers not to discuss private conversations because they say Harry Reid had to rebuke her before for this issue. Like, it had gotten her actions had risen to the level where it became known, and she had to be rebuked in her file or whatever for how she treated employees, how she treated her staff members. So this is like on the record. But Harry Reid says he won't go into it. He says he won't discuss private conversations that he's had with senators. In this case, Reid also does not remember whether or not he had this discussion with Klobuchar. He said, Senator Klobuchar is a brilliant star, the hardest working members of the Senate, and I was glad to serve alongside her. She's tireless when it comes to fighting for the people of Minnesota and the country, and that's why she's such a popular senator back home and among her colleagues. But Reid's 2015 admonishment of Klobuchar appears to have been a rare point of intervention in a long history of complaints about Klobuchar's behavior. And this goes back at least her time as the Hennepin County attorney in Minneapolis. So she didn't just become, according to this, she didn't just become a hell on wheels last week. She's been that way for a long time. And as I read this, like, they say, look, here goes one scenario that's explained here. Check this out. During the first campaign, aides assembled. Okay, hold up. Especially while in the car during a busy day, if she's extremely upset about something, let her rant through it. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt her unless absolutely necessary, and be careful when trying to calm her down. This is a memo, an 8-page memo outlining the duties of Klobuchar's body person. So this is a letter of warning to anybody who works with her or for her. What not to do, because they're trying to help you. Like, look, Amy crazy, okay? I know you knew and you excited about the job. She ain't listen. She can't hear me, can you? Okay. She upstairs? All right. Amy crazy. You need to be on your P's and Q's. Don't look her directly in the eye. Look to the floor. Look down. All right? You are not worthy. Look to the floor when you talk to her. And when she calls you out your name, just say thank you. And shit like that. So, anyway, it says... All right. It says, often she just needs to talk things out in the open, is not interested in other people's opinions. This is something that you will become used to and adjust to. It's just a note for the first time this happens. So, like, they go through all this stuff. I see something here that says, now this caught me because it's in bold print, right? Klobuchar had created a hostile work environment and severely damaged the morale of the office, wrote James Appleby, the president of the local AFSCME union. Okay? It said that the letter claimed the grievances to the union increased under Klobuchar's tenure, and that Klobuchar once told her own employees they weren't competent enough to work at her former law firm. It also claimed the local had asked the union to withhold its endorsement for her county attorney bid in 2002. So she was so bad, it's like, don't be endorsing this her, she's horrible. Right? That's what they say. All right? They said, in short, Amy Klobuchar is exactly the kind of candidate that AFSCME should oppose. Wow. This is bad, man. They said staff are staff. They're not maids. There's a difference between make sure I have a Diet Coke at an event and pick up my dirty clothes while you wait for me to get dressed. Pick up your dirty clothes? You mean pick up your drawers? Oh, no, Amy, you're going to be doing that yourself, sister. See, this reminds me a lot of Hollywood, where people abuse you because they have power. They abuse the hell out of you. They got power, they abuse the hell out of you. Just what's the difference? See, that's why the whole thing about all of this crap that's going on in Hollywood, they act like they don't know. Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about the casting couch. And as you can see, this stuff exists in the political world as well. It's horrible stuff, man. And elitist in any position, using their power and using people that are vulnerable or people who are weak, who can't really fight back. All you can do is, people who don't want to lose their job, people that don't want their careers ruined. I mean, you probably talk back to her, she won't recommend you. And people know you worked for her, they will assume it was you who was the problem. And that's why people shut the hell up. That's why they take it, because it's like, this is going to ruin my career. I can't let this woman ruin my career. She's already ruining my life right now, but if I get out of line, if I fight back, it may ruin my entire, career. Okay? So, it sort of reminds me a little bit of Terrell Owens and his issue with the agent that grabbed him. One last thing, and I'm going to go to the last one. All right? Check this out, guys. People knew about this. See? That's what something that burns me up about it. This is not a secret. It's not a secret, right? It's known, it's common knowledge to people who are in politics, probably on the Senate level, or people in Minnesota. They know about it, like people at a certain level. I don't think every voter knows about it, probably hardly any voters know, probably. But what I'm saying is, why are you telling us now? Like, why not expose her when she was running to get reelected in the Senate? Why not expose her earlier? Why wait till now? It's just, that's the thing that really bothers me. That's why people come with the conspiracy theories, because it's like, why hold information? Get them now. Get them early. Get them. You got everything. Why would you not print that? Like, if you had that information, why didn't Huffington Post print it 6 months ago? It's not a new revelation that she may be a horrible individual in personal life or at work. Not personal life, in work life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not new. So people cover for these, the media covers for scumbags, predators, horrific people of all stripes, because they have powerful positions. And then they go after the vulnerable people. Like for instance, if and look, I'm not taking up for the woman that uses the N-word at the Walmart or Barbecue Becky or Coupon Carl, and none of them. Not taking up for them at all, okay? But the media has no problem ruining the life of Coupon Carl. He's a guy who wouldn't accept a coupon from the black lady. He thought she's, has a coupon counterfeit ring. You know what I'm saying? A counterfeit ring of coupons she be printing up to get $20 off a $100 purchase. Like, that's what he thinks. So he calls the cops, threatens the police to get her locked up, try to ruin her life. So the media has no problem with ruining Carl's life, making it so he can't get a job, running it everywhere. But Amy Klobuchar, right? She could she could treat people like crap for years, a decade, 15 years or so. And you never read about it in the paper. You never see it on a website. Because, see, they love for us to dog out unknown people. Like Barbecue Becky, I don't have a record of her calling cops on every black person she's ever seen. Like, hey, it's a black person. Oh, it's a black person going down the street. Oh, it's a black guy walking his doggy. Oh, it's black. Like, she did it one time and they blow her world up. Amy Klobuchar has a track record of being a dick. And they still won't say anything until she starts running for president. Until she says she's going to run for president. Then all of a sudden, we got to stop her. I haven't said all of that. I don't like horrible individuals who treat people like garbage. I don't like people who treat other people like they are furniture or like they're peasants. I don't get into that. I'm not feeling that at all. I don't need to go to none of your damn parties. I don't need to meet you. We don't need to hang out. I don't need you to follow me. Go fuck yourself. I don't like people like that. So, Amy Klobuchar, I don't think everybody made this stuff up about you. Like, I think it's based in reality. You're a horrible person. I don't know how you made it this far. Maybe somebody treated you like shit one day. I don't got time to sort it all out. All I know is the way you treated people based on what I read makes you a person that should not be elected for anything. And you shouldn't even be in the Senate. Hell, you shouldn't be dog catcher. You shouldn't be a mailman. You shouldn't be nothing but a loan. That's what you should be. I mean, this is horrific. You need anger management classes and some more stuff. You're not the worst person in the world, but you made a number of people's lives miserable. You know, when we read stuff about people committing suicide, they work for people like Amy Klobuchar. Real talk, man. Like, sometimes you wonder, like we hear the suicide rate, and you hear about these people taking their own lives, you go, man, what is so wrong with people? What is going on? And you think horrible, you think the most worst things, like, oh my God, they probably got a diagnosis, or maybe a loved one died and they were deeply depressed. And sometimes that may be the case. But sometimes they just work for a horrible individual like Amy Klobuchar, and they have no way out. They got bills on the table. They got this horrible individual. And they say, you know what? This shit is just horrible. And they say, now I just think that we need to take stuff like this serious. Is all I'm saying, People go through stuff, and it's other people taking advantage of other people that create these situations. That's all. All right. Not saying that she did that. that that's the case with her specifically. But people like Amy Klobuchar, who make life horrible for people, add to depression, add to people's mental state, which may drive people to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do. That's all I'm saying. All right. You gotta, I'm getting a little bit bigger. I don't want to get sued for, I mean, what, they gonna take my paper? Yeah, she will. She'll take your paper. She sound like somebody who would sue you for your staples, your papers, and your water bottle. Now this thing about Candace Owens, guys. Rising conservative star Candace Owens is slammed over her newly surfaced Hitler comments. Why aren't people smart enough to know to stop talking about Hitler? Like don't we know it's like never ends well? It's like talking about black folks and saying, talking about black folks and being athletic. Like if you're a sports commentator, there's things you don't talk about. Like when white sports commentators start talking about black guys can jump really high or run really fast, and they start talking about historically and based on genes. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's into sports, you know what I'm talking about. When they start talking about the white guys, the black guys, they're really strong. There's been a long line of strong black guys, and they really, they inherited their black genes or make them really strong and really fast, and they're able to jump higher and run faster, and they start going there. It's like, because we know there's been a series of white guys who got in big trouble because they just keep going, and they end up in this area where it's just bad. It's called the desert of unemployment. That's where they end up at. They end up without a job. So, same thing holds true with politics when people start talking about Hitler. Why can't you just, there should be a buzzer. We need a Hitler buzzer. Or something on the road, when you're on the road, they got that strip on the side when so in case you fall asleep, it will alert you that you are getting ready to go off the road, dude, because if you go off this road, it can be life or death, right? So we need that for politicians or commentators with the word Hitler. As soon as you start talking about Germany and then you start use a hard H, you should get zapped. I don't even know how that would work. I have no idea. It's such a rookie mistake. I've been on doing this for 6 years. I've never felt the need to pontificate, to wax poetic, to speak at length about motherfucking Hitler. What is it? See, Candace been hanging out with Charlie Kirk too long and hanging out with her new husband or boyfriend or whatever, her fiance, too long, and she thinks listen, I don't know where it's coming from when you feel like you need to have Hitler conversations. It's just dumb. She, of course, denies it, said it was taken out of context. I don't know. I saw a clip. I cannot find the whole clip. The clip I saw, she appears to be in a forum where her and Charlie Kirk are, and Charlie Kirk hands her the microphone. It's like it was about, I think the audience member asked a question about nationalism. The audience member did not ask about Hitler. According to what I read, it said it was answering a question about nationalism at an event in London back in December. Okay. Any problems at all with the word nationalism? So she didn't have any problems with the word nationalism, a word she characterized as too often associated with Hitler. I think that the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want, Owens said. And then she went on to say, she made a comment about Hitler. She says, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a national socialist, Nazi. But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. You know, I don't think there's enough there for me to 100% be certain what her intentions were. I think it's, you know, probably not the smartest thing in the world to use the word fine with Hitler. Okay, fine, you know, unless it's like, hey man, Hitler's dead. And you'd be like, okay, fine. Or, man, that I can't stand Hitler, you know? Hitler was a piece of crap. You mind if I call him a piece of crap, mofo? Okay, fine. Like, but to be like, hey, if Hitler only would have, like, you know, stayed in Germany, it'd have been okay. Fine. Like, that to me, that just doesn't work, guys. I said other stupid stuff, but not about Hitler. People got mad at me about Me Too stuff, but never Hitler, because I don't talk about Hitler. So anyway, guys, I've been seeing a lot of viral tweets about Candace Owens. People saying that Candace Owens, she's the communications director for Turning Point USA, and maybe Turning Point has reached a point where they need to make a turn and remove her as communications director of Turning Point. Because as a communications director, she often miscommunicates. Like I said, man, I don't know, man. I'm not going to just pile on. David M. Perry says this to Candace Owens. He said, "Dear Candace Owens," on Twitter, "as a Jewish historian, I'd like to assure you that the problem with Hitler wasn't that he wanted to conquer other places, but that he wanted to kill all Jews, disabled folks, Romas, communists, and others." Oh, this guy has the full video. Okay, so I haven't seen the whole video. Now, Candace Owens said this. She says, talking about Hitler, she says he wasn't a nationalist. Owens said of Hitler, he was a homicidal, psychotic maniac. Okay, so check this out, guys. Okay, she put out this thing, was Hitler a nationalist? This is how arrogant Candace Owens is. And this happened because of Kanye West. Kanye West, when you gave her attention, when you sent her name out, like you basically made her career. And of course, like anytime a celebrity of Kanye's stature tweets you out, you're gonna get a whole lot of followers. But she got a whole lot of time on TV, a whole lot of time on radio, podcast. Her profile was raised exponentially because of Kanye West. The problem with that is a certain level of arrogance that some people can develop because of their exposure. Okay? That is what made her think. Like, it has damaged her brain to the point where she thinks she can change the whole country's way they look at the word nationalism. That's what she thinks. She thinks, I'm Candace Owens. We can take back the word nationalism. Because we want to use it. Because, you know, they're calling Trump a nationalist. They call Steve Bannon, they were calling him a nationalist. And Candace Owens obviously wants to be called a nationalist. They want that term to be taken back. But you will not succeed in taking that word back. What you will succeed in doing is ruining your career. I'm telling you some good shit. I know you think people on the left suck. I know you think we're stupid. I know you think you're better and all this stuff. And I've heard your rhetoric before. Okay, I've heard all this. I've heard you condescend to people on the left. I'm not telling you this because for any ulterior motive. I get nothing out of this. All I'm telling you is you need to calm down and come down to earth. Media will take your ass out. Tell you something good right here. Not little Tim Black with his little left group of Tim Black's Wolfpack with Truth Bomb people and little YouTube stuff, my little stuff I done ain't nothing. I'm small, okay? I don't have, the reach of, your Charlie Kirk, and I don't have people dumping money in it. Hell, man, I got a $5 new Patreon today. I'm happy. Thank you, new Patreon guy and new Patreon sister to join with $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I don't have the cash infusion that your Turning Point USA has. But see, what I do have is humility. And I know I can't change the way a word is used or what it represents to an entire country of 350 million people. Like, you cannot, that's just the United States. You cannot expect for you to show up, little 29-year-old Candace Owens, and because Kanye tweeted you out, now you think you can go to London and tell the whole world, hey, you can take that word back. Hey, who cares what the rest of the world thinks about that word? You just use it. And Hitler, forget the Hitler part. No. That's bad advice. And you see where it got you. All right. Somebody, that's it, guys. That's it. Of course, she's saying now that that's not what she meant. She didn't mean it in the way that it was taken. She does not support Hitler. I would hope that she doesn't. I don't want to say that she does. Okay? I will give her that much. I don't think she supports Hitler. But I think that you got to just be careful what you say. Somebody weird followed me today on Twitter, and I'm like, sometimes when really big people follow you, people with, sometimes when people follow me that are in the media game, I assume it's not just because, I got a bald head and they want to follow me around. I assume sometimes, more than sometimes, that they're looking at me for a reason. There's something going on. So I don't get a big hit about it. I don't get arrogant about it. I just think I got to be careful. And when I make a statement, whether it's about Mike Pence, like I recently slammed Mike Pence, or when I make a statement about somebody else or something controversial, I make sure it's something I'm willing to die on that hill. Like I recently went at Simone Sanders because I thought she was wrong. And if that cost me my Twitter account or if it cost me my platform, I just had to rebuild, okay? But I felt strongly enough that it was something that was worth it. I don't think you making this comment, you thought this through, nor do I think you are really ready to ruin your rest of your career and have to start over because you want to change a word. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm done. Phone number is 319-527-6212. 319-527-6212. And I'm going to take calls in the order that they came in. Give it up for everybody in the queue. We got a 770 number in the house. 770, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's up, Tim? This is Dave from Stone Mountain. How you doing?
Hey, Dave. What's up, brother?
Nothing. I was just hearing you talk about Candy Ass or whatever the hell her name is. I don't really look. This is not why I called, but people keep calling Hitler a nationalist. Stop doing that, please. He's not a nationalist. He was a globalist. He had a global agenda. He used nationalism to motivate his country to serve his global agenda. So he wasn't a nationalist. A nationalist would just stop with his own country. He's a globalist. He had a global agenda. He tried to murder everybody, okay, and make a super race of Germans. That is a globalist. So stop saying that. That's not right.
Good point.
And look, I called because of a bunch of infighting on the internet that I've been witnessing between a whole bunch of people, and I've been trying to deal with Trump supporters for 3 years now, and I'm just not having any luck doing it. And I think the country is really having some problems, and I keep, everybody's frustrated. We're all fighting. And I've got bad news and good news, I think that a lot of the people that got a good taste of all the corruption that happened in 2016 don't understand that that was really just a taste. And I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to get worse. I think we've got a tremendous journey ahead of us. I think the people that have saying, screw this and, screw Bernie, I think are putting too much weight on his shoulders. I mean, there's a country of 320 million, and, considering the corruption that we really do face, I don't think people understand, to think that Bernie could have done this one thing this way or one thing that way to make the difference is just wrong. But I don't know, man. We just need as many allies as we can get. And I keep seeing people say, well, I talked to this liberal and, liberals are stupid, or I see liberals saying I talked to this conservative and conservatives are stupid. And it's because we keep trying to, this kind of boils down to what you try and say, Tim, sprinkle some facts on them. I think we are continuing to try to change people's minds as we talk to them, and it's not possible to do so. And I think we need to talk about the things we agree on. We really need as many people as we can get. If you can, I guess what I'm saying is talk about things like campaign finance reform when you talk to a conservative. They're going to agree with that. Nobody thinks you should buy elections. Nobody should say, well, this guy gave me $5 billion. Now he's the president now. Nobody agrees with that across the board. And so, and so that's what you want to do. You want to talk to people about things you agree with. That way when they leave you, they were like, hey, that was a good conversation with a liberal. Maybe they're not all crazy. And of course, then you'll have a good story to tell somebody, hey, look, I talked to this conservative today, and they're not crazy. And I think that's the way we're going to make ground, and I see us all, including myself. I'm as bad as anybody. I try to change people's minds, and it doesn't work. And we do it with our allies, we do it with our enemies, and it just makes the situation worse. And I'm telling you, the main thing I keep trying to tell these Trump supporters and everybody is that, the rich have, what did George Carlin said it best? They got you by the balls. They own all the good land. They own all the all the media. They got all the good jobs. They have all the best education. That's what the rich have, is everything. 90% of the wealth is in the top 10%'s hand. 90%. You understand what I'm saying? 90% of the country, me, you, Tim, everybody, 90% of us are splitting up 10% of the wealth between all of us, 300 million people. 10% of the nation's wealth. That is the sign of an oligarchy that is way off the rails, way worse than Germany. And for those that get frustrated, let me tell you something. If you thought Germany was bad, if this country turns bad, you're in for a real scary ride. And the only thing on the planet that stands in the way of that happening is us. There is no country that can attack the United States and stop them. The only people that can do that are American citizens. And that's the bad news. That's the bad news, is how hard the fight's going to be. It is going to be monumental. It might take a quarter century. But I don't want anybody to get frustrated. Now, please, I want you to find a way to reach out to people and talk to them about the things you agree with. Make allies, not enemies. And remember that, and I'm going to leave it with this, Tim, Bernie Sanders was just one man. One man. Think of all the people that stood up. And I don't like calling people out like this, but Tim, Jimmy Dore, the humanist, me, all of you, Andrew Cortez, Tulsi Gabbard, Nina Turner. Think of all the people. That's one person. One person. Think what 1,000 people like that could do. And all he did say was, F this shit, that enough is enough. It's time for change. Something's wrong. All he did was stand up, and he didn't even win. He just started talking. So I want to refuel everybody. I don't want you to give up. When the right man comes along that really is going to win and give the country back into the hands of people like me and you want to be ready. You don't want them to start from scratch like Bernie did. So don't give up, everybody.
Wow. Give it up for Dave from Stone Mountain, man. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, man. And inspiration is really important, man. I think people need more of it, frankly. So thank you for giving them an inspiration, man. And a game plan. And sprinkle some facts on them, man. That's what we got to do. Come on now. Yeah, let me go to the next call, man. I've done a lot of talking. Thank you, Dave. 917. 917, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment? You're live, 917. Yo, yo, yo. All right, 917, I'm about to come back to you. I don't hear you. 343, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim Black, it's your friend Patrick Seguin from Kingston, Ontario. How you doing?
I'm good, Pat. What's going on?
Not too bad. I'm just recovering from thyroid surgery. Thank you for the well wishes on Twitter and stuff like that. I just wanted to talk about the Venezuela situation there. It's getting heated up, and there's been a lot of stuff going on this week, like weapons being sent with the foreign aid to Venezuela. And also, too, about Canada's interests, especially with Christina Freeland and stuff like that. So, as I said a couple of weeks ago, that I do not support my Liberal government for doing this, especially when Maduro is an elected, democratically elected leader. So, hopefully this coup does not happen. Hopefully this, subsides, that people get the actual truth and not the propaganda from the United States and stuff like that that says Maduro is a bad guy and stuff like that. So, I watched that segment with you and Robbie Martin and everybody else there a couple weeks ago when you did the Chopped, Tim Black Chopped. It was really good. That was a good segment, and you explained the entire situation from all sides of the political spectrum. So, anyways, you have yourself a great weekend there, Tim. I'll be recovering fine. I'll be back to normal in a couple weeks, but thank you for the well wishes again, my brother. Have a good weekend.
All right, man. Get better soon, man. Get some rest. Called up here talking, man. You had thyroid operation. Thyroid surgery. You're probably bored as hell, though, man. I'm glad you watched the show. Thank you, Pat. Let me go to the next call. We got a 917, man. I'm going to try 917 one more time. 917, you're live, Freedom Friday. Hola. Okay. Oh, they called in again. Let me try this one. 917, you're live on Freedom Friday.
Hey, Tim, can you hear me?
I hear you now, yeah.
All right, cool. No, man, I just wanted to first off say, dude, you killed it with that calling out that woman on the Joe Rogan show. I never laughed so hard in my life, man. That was brutality. I was just waiting for like the Mortal Kombat announcer to be like, finish it. Nah, man. I mean, what disgusted me. I mean, it was, you got it. Jimmy went on a campaign. Kyle got it. And that was just disgusting. When you had like a room full of dumbass neocons in there, all ganging up on an actual war veteran, talking about like, oh, we shouldn't be in Syria. Oh my God, what are we supposed to do? It's like, well, they have like the worst amnesia possible. You know what I mean? It's like Iraq never happened for them. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, they even had on like a professor. I think his name's like Jeffrey Sachs. Something. He explains like the CIA op in Syria. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they just nod and go, okay. And they just pretend like he didn't come on the show, and they just start bombarding her. You know what I mean? And I'm amazed. I don't know if you caught it, but Joe Scarsborough, he had the dumbass notion to actually say the words "weapons of mass destruction." Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. I don't remember him. He said weapons. I know he said adversary. Yeah.
Yeah, they said WMDs, and I'm like, dude, first off, not even neocons use that, because they know that doesn't sell anymore. But second, I mean, this is what I was telling you the last time I called, is she has to know these things. I mean, the OPCW released an interim report last time that said that there were no chemical weapons when we started bombing them. Mm-hmm. So he has this no-knowledge idea, you know what I mean? But, I mean, she should have been a little bit, she was very cordial, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, she should have pushed back by saying, okay, so tell me, where's the congressional authority we have to go into Syria? I must have missed when Congress voted for that. I would love that she pushed back and be like, oh, hey, you remember how everybody in this room was talking about Libya and we need to go in there? Well, how's Libya doing? It's democracy, right? Because the last time I checked, it's actual slave trafficking in there. Last time I checked, there's like 3 rival governments. It went from the richest country to the poor country. When you push back like that, you know what I mean? They have nothing to say. Because these guys are always for war, and then when it doesn't go out well, they just were like, oh, who could have seen that coming? You know? And, I mean, the audacity these people had to talk about how, first off, what's that woman who, Katie something, what was her name?
I don't know her name. I know you're talking about the one who looks evil.
Yeah. So she's so smug on Twitter. And I'm like, okay, you can't act smug when you actually said, oh, what do you say to the troops fighting Assad? And,
right.
and Tulsi, if you watch it, she's like trying not to laugh. She was like, we're not fighting Assad, we're fighting ISIS. Like, you don't even know why our troops are there, and you're talking smack. Like, really? You just got called out. But I mean, if you're going to talk about how, oh my God, we have to be against dictators, the first question I would have loved if she had asked them and says, okay, let me ask you a question. Why are we allied with Saudi Arabia right now? Not only are we allied with them, we're helping them bomb in Yemen.
Absolutely.
I must have missed where you were standing up, because I mean, what is the reports you get every day? Over 1 million people starving to death, cholera outbreak. CNN finally caught up and did a report. They actually reported that our arms that we give to Saudi Arabia are now in Al Qaeda's hands in Yemen. Why? Because that's the rebel groups the Saudis fund in Yemen. They don't ask any of that, you know. And I have friends on Facebook who are just staunch Hillary supporters. You know what I mean? And they act like, oh my God, Tulsi when she talks with Assad, but they get angry when you point up, hey guys, you know Hillary took money from Saudi Arabia, right? Yeah, you and I'll link articles. There was like an article from The Intercept where they said, let me see, I even wrote the date. Yeah, it was on the 22nd of February 2016. They wrote an article called "Hillary Celebrated Selling F-15 to Saudi Arabia, Calling it Good News." Oh, they lose their mind when you bring that up. Oh, that's different. How is that different? Explain to me if you're going to stand on a soapbox talking about how we need to fight dictators and all this. Explain to me where this is okay, you know? And they just go crazy. I mean, Hillary literally said, I think that the International Times reporter said, like, oh no, Iraq's a business opportunity, you know? And it's not going to get any better for her. It's not like CNN's going to get easier for her. I mean, they have one woman, she works there, I think her name's S.E. Cups or something like that. Am I saying that right? S.E. Cups? And, yeah, man, she literally, I think when she was on HNL, HLN or whatever that network is, she's literally like pro-intervention, you know?
Wow.
You know, if you get a chance, I'd check out this video. I think it's on Max Blumenthal's channel. It was called, on the Gray Zone Project, it's called The Theory of Deception. And you can catch her just straight up like saying, yeah, we need to intervene, we need to do this, we need to do that. Like right now, by any reports, there's an entire section in Syria, you know, that is literally Al-Qaeda held. I mean, Trump's own NSA or head of the NSA literally said, yeah, it's like the largest we've ever seen since 9/11. And these people who, when you point this out, they just go crazy. Oh no, that was different. Hillary Clinton wasn't so pro-war hawk. It's like, yeah, she is, because those, in my opinion, man, like I have friends who served in war, and they tell you, like, yeah, it's the people who don't serve who always want war. It's not the people who've never served. They always want war. When you talk to actual soldiers, like, I don't want, nobody should do that stuff. You know what I mean, Tim?
Right. All right.
And
yeah.
I gotta be honest. Yeah, she just needs to push back a little more. Is all I'm saying.
Well, look, man, I appreciate the phone call, man, and I agree that it's going to take a lot more. She's got to do more, man, of fighting for what she believes in. I think she did a good job, but yeah, it's only going to get more treacherous because they don't want her out talking against the regime change. Okay, and that's pretty much evident. I think Tulsi Gabbard, she also may need to. And look, everybody can, you know, like, who the hell am I? I'm just somebody who's been doing this and built sort of like a brand on the internet. So I guess I do have a little bit of, I have experience in creating something, right? People who watch the show, they know who I was before they watched the show. So I'm able to make people watch the show and give them something that makes them say, oh, let me check this guy out. Okay, so I guess I have a little bit that I could offer that I think is credible in this area. And I would just say, I think Tulsi Gabbard needs to humanize herself just a little bit more, because I think that these social issues, she's going to need to address that. I'm sorry to say that the majority, not all, but the majority of Americans are not in tune so much with our foreign policy. So I would love to see her humanize herself a little bit more by talking about social issues, and also by just opening up a little bit more about her life, and I think that would go a long way. You know, I remember when Bernie Sanders hooked up with Killer Mike, for instance. That did wonders for him. I mean, nobody knew who he was. And then they saw him with Killer Mike, and that really helped him. They gave him an entry point to younger black folks, and just showed another side of Bernie that I think really helped his campaign. Now, we know he had a lot of forces against him, and we all know that. And we know what the outcome of that was. I still think that he could have won. He could, if he would have been allowed to win, and DNC played fair, we may be looking at President Bernie Sanders as opposed to President Donald Trump. And I just think you can't underestimate that. So, hey, look, I'm here. This is just my opinion. I know it's easy to, people are probably throwing out stuff all the time about what Tulsi Gabbard should do or what any candidate should do, but I just think that that's important because she scores so highly on these other things. I just think that this would like really round it out and help her even more. Anyway, that's my opinion, guys. I mean, because she's got a lot going for her, man. I mean, a vet. Come on, man. Most diverse. Hawaii is the most diverse state in the nation, right? Got a lot going for her, man. And who the hell doesn't want to go to Hawaii? And I look for the record, guys. Somebody contacted me like, Tim, why'd you call out Garland Nixon? I was joking with Garland Nixon. Of course I want to go to Hawaii, but it ain't Garland's job to take me to Hawaii to cover Tulsi Gabbard. We're not, he my brother, but we not brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was joking. God, come on, guys. You guys know I was joking, right? Right? So, someone brought that to my attention, like, Tim, why did you say this? What? Anyway, so if anybody knows Garland, tell Garland I was joking with him. If he think I know Garland wouldn't think that. Okay. I got a couple people in our chat who have. Oh, Buck Bewley. Buck Bewley gave one super chat. Thanks, Buck, man. Buck is always helping the show, man. Thank you. Sometimes when I watch Jimmy Dore, I watched Jimmy Dore's chat last Saturday, man, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I felt inadequate, man. He was like raking. First of all, he had I want to say 3,000 people watching, and I was like, wow, how do you get 3,000 people to watch your show? And I'm guessing it was 3. I just remember it being a big number. It was more than 1,000. I think it was more than 2,000. I think it was about 3,000 people were watching the show. And that could be wrong. Could be more. And then I saw all the donations he was getting. And I was like, wow, man, what am I doing on the show? I need to step my game up. I don't know. Something's going on. I mean, gosh. But Buck, I appreciate you, Buck. Thank you, Buck, for contributing to the show. Buck says, I really appreciate all the time and effort you put in, Tim. I try, brother. I challenge others to donate to the collection plate. Show Tim some love and support. I just think it's just a numbers thing. I think we just don't have the numbers. Based on the people that we have, we probably do okay. If you multiply the number of people, then you get more, more people who support the show because you have more people, right? But thank you, Buck. I appreciate you, man. And as soon as I start talking about that, 10 people left. You can't win for losing. Give a shout out to Davey Z. Davey Z just gave the show. He's like, hey, man, I'm here. Davey Z says, with the DNC debacle, who does one consider as a viable candidate? If we know it is not going to be fair, should have started third party in 2016. Oh, man. Give it up for that. We have third parties. It's just our system is so corrupt, brother, that they hamstring third-party candidates to the point where it's almost you're running as an exercise. I mean, I believe in my heart of hearts, man, that Jill Stein reached 5%. I believe she reached 5% threshold. There were too many people there were too many engaged voters who were Bernie Sanders supporters who did not, who had to feel a certain way about Jill Stein. Now, the official vote tally count says she didn't. I wish that she had, because they're still blaming her as if she had. I mean, to this day, they're still blaming her. I saw her in an interview with Erin Burnett on MSNBC where she was smearing the hell out of Jill Stein, blaming her and blaming Howard Schultz as if you need permission to run. 50% of Americans don't even vote. But people like Erin Burnett, people like Deborah Messing, if you're on Twitter, if you're not, you probably don't know who the hell I'm talking about. But these people continue to blame voters. They don't blame the candidate. They don't blame the Look, guys, a candidacy, when you're at a certain level, Hillary Clinton had $2 billion. $2 billion. That's a corporation. All right? Let's get it straight. That is a corporation. You are blaming the consumer for a failed corporation. It's the dumbest shit in life. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It makes no sense. You make no sense. None. You're blaming the corporation for why the consumer don't want to buy what they're selling. A $2 billion corporation. All right? Nowhere else in life do we do this. If you don't want to buy an iPhone, nobody goes, you should have bought that damn iPhone. You're a bad because you didn't buy an iPhone. What are you doing with Android, this Samsung? No one does that. But for some reason, and you know what? If Apple has a down quarter, no one goes to the Samsung purchaser or whatever and says, hey man, what's up? No, because it's Apple's job to create a product. To create a product that interests you, that gets you excited, that makes you want to part with your money, that makes you want to part with your time, that makes you want to stand in line, that makes you want to learn a new device, that makes you want to become a consumer of their product. That is their job. When you have $1 billion or more dollars, you are no longer just a candidate. She had a team. She had consultants. She had people just walking around going, hey, I ordered pens. Hey, I got the water in. Hey, I'm cleaning up the shop. Like, she had a whole company. A company of people. A company of people. You are blaming a mom and pop shop. The Green Party is a mom and pop shop. It's a corner store. It's a florist. A mom and pop florist. It's a delicatessen. It is a pizzeria. Not a chain restaurant. It's a one-owned mom-and-pop pizzeria been handed down in the family. And you are blaming them for why it hurt Apple. Fuck you. Seriously. Fuck you. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm tired of playing games with these fools. Joy Reid and all these idiots, Neera Tanden and Rachel Maddow and all these bastards blaming Susan Sarandon and blaming Jill Stein and blaming Bernie voters and all the people that are smearing Bernie voters and Bernie supporters, when we're talking about the Democratic Party as a corporation with foot soldiers and media, and you still stay on dissing Bernie Sanders or Bernie supporters or Jill Stein supporters or Green Party supporters. It don't even make sense. Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. All the way. All the way. It don't make any damn sense. Come on. Come on, guys. It don't make sense. Thank you, J-Bird. J-Bird said, actions always speak louder than words, TB. You rock. Thank you, JB. You rock too. You rock too. I mean, JB, I'm feeling like I'm real. Like, I'm like you guys, man. We the same. We react to this situation and we say we're fed up of it. Like, we've had it up to here with the nonsense. This has been 3 years. 3 years, guys. Has everybody seen the clip? I'm going to ask my chat room. Chat room, has everybody seen the clip of Erin Burnett blaming Jill Stein? In 2019, Erin Burnett is still blaming Jill Stein for 2016. Guys, I just want to know if everybody saw it. Everybody seen it? Guys, have you seen it? Jonathan Melton, have you seen it? Yeah, the whole Jake PV says the whole country's a corporation. No, man, politics, Jake. I'm talking about politics. The whole country's not a corporation. Look, I know that our country's run like a corporation, but within that corporation, there's several smaller corporations. Can we agree on that? There are smaller corporations, and what I'm telling you is there is no comparison between the Green Party and the DNC or the Democratic Party. There is no comparison at all. You should never even. This should look. Erin Burnett is an educated woman. She's an educated woman. Don't insult my intelligence. She should not insult our intelligence. I won't insult her intelligence. Don't insult my intelligence. She's smart enough to know that Hillary Clinton had billions of dollars. And she had the media in her pocket. And she is still blaming Jill Stein of the Green Party for the loss of Hillary Clinton, for the loss of the DNC. They don't even let Jill Stein in the debates. She had to chain herself to a chair to tell you don't even let her on the debate stage, and they still blame her. Do you realize how the idiocy, it's not idiocy, I'm sorry, the dirty dealing, it's a person. What they're doing, Jake, is the equivalent of breaking in your house, pistol whipping you in front of your kids. They break in your house, they pistol whip you in front of your kids, and then what do they do? They come by the next day and they ask for a donation. That is the audacity. They not only rob from you and humiliate you and treat you like garbage, then they come back and they say, donate again, give to us again. Then they blame you for bleeding on their shoes. They blame you. That's it. They pistol whip you in front of your kids in your own home, and then they send you a bill, and they blame you for bleeding on their shoes. How dare you bleed on them? That's what they're doing. That's what they did to the Green Party. They don't let her in the debates. Nothing. Come on. No media time. When it was media time, it was always a hit squad. It's always a setup. It's just a way to marginalize you, a way to ruin your name, your reputation, to slander you in some way. That's what the whole point of it. They put you on the stage just to try to destroy you. If they give you any coverage, it's to hurt you. That's why they're giving you coverage. They're giving you coverage to try to hurt you. Okay, so that's what they did. And Bernie. So a caller earlier, one of my callers earlier was really smart. I got some really smart callers. One of my callers said, Tim, make no mistake about it, Tim. Dave from Stone Mountain said this, my first caller. Dave said, Tim, it was bad in 2016. I think it's going to be worse. Dave is right. Dave is right. You know how I know he's right? Because we got really close in 2016. We got really close in 2016. They're going to fight. So what's different about this is now we know they're going to fight. See, I wasn't so prepared like I'm prepared now. I am prepared now for 2020. I'm locked and loaded. I'm on multiple platforms. I'm not just on YouTube. I'm not just on Twitter. I'm on Roku. I'm on Amazon. Right? So my State of the Union breakdown, I'm putting that on Amazon. I'm going to start putting content everywhere. You're going to have to go to Netflix to stop me. You're going to have to go to Hulu to stop me. You have to go to Apple to stop me. You have to go to Spreaker to stop me. I'm going to be 10 places. Okay? So they're not going to stop me. They're going to have to come get me. That's the only way they're going to stop me. All right? Because they're right. You're right. They're going to step up game. But you know what? Luckily, we realize that, and we're going to step our game up too. You realize it. It's time for you to step your game up. I realize it's time for me to step my game up. All those independent media need to step their game up pronto. Okay? That's what time it is. And you need to also get in the podcast. And I want to encourage everybody watching right now, hey, you don't got to be, if you don't want to be a camera person, you don't have to be. Start a podcast. Start a podcast. Everybody don't have to be in front of a camera. Don't feel like you got to put your likeness out there. Start a podcast. Come up with a catchy name. It's free. Start a podcast. Do it today. The future is audio. The future is audio. That's where it's going. It's smaller. It's easier to upload. Come on, guys. Storage. The storage space is much smaller. I want you all to consider starting a podcast. All right. Man, I'm on a rant, man. I was on one. 214, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, what's up? This is Tariq. Can you hear me?
I hear you, man. How you doing?
Good. Man, I agree with a lot of what you say, but the problem I have with progressives, and I voted for Trump. I'm not a conservative, but the problem I have with progressives is I feel like y'all are not tackling this social justice issue. Like, I don't think y'all. I mean, if you look at black men, for example, the people who are getting black men to always apologize, like, for example, like Kevin Hart, or just, the Me Too movement is coming out after them, it's primarily liberals. You know what I'm saying? It's not the conservatives. And I feel like if a progressive wins the election, I feel like this anti-male bashing thing is going to continue forever. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you look at comedy, if you look at who's killing comedy, it's not conservatives killing comedy. And I feel like because you guys ignore that, it doesn't make your platform look attractive. Even though I do agree with you guys on the wars, I definitely am anti-war, and I understand what's going on over there, but I feel like because y'all minimize that, people are siding with Trump because he's actually standing up against that. And the media is against Trump. Yes, 2020 is going to be crazy, but there is a reason why Trump is hated by the media too. We can't act like he's loved.
All right, Tariq, I got to interrupt you, man, because you said a couple of things, and you kept saying y'all as if you're including me. You do know I'm a comedian, right? I'm actually a comedian, and I actually put out videos against the toxic masculinity in the Gillette commercial, and I actually put out videos against political correctness. I actually am not who you say at all. I'm not even close. So I don't know, when you say y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that, I think you got it twisted. And let's make it clear, man. If you are saying that black men are getting a bad rap by liberals, I think you misunderstand, man. Like, there are conservatives who think that all black people are thugs. It's bad on both sides. Like, I have a problem with people who believe that this one side is good and the other side is evil when both sides have issues. Definitely, I don't think there's a party that you can be in, Tariq, where you will not have some level of disgust or some level of not being in the respect that you deserve. And that's not just for you, that's for anyone, but particularly for black males, okay? So, I don't know why you had that belief, but I just want to check you on it, man, because it's not true. Not true at all.
Well, I'm going to definitely agree with you on that, when it comes to conservatives, because when Obama was in power for 8 years, I was not liking them calling him a Muslim. I was also not liking them saying that he was destroying this country, and I was very upset with a lot of so-called black conservatives like Jesse Lee Peterson. I don't like how they got on TV, talking about he's the worst president ever. I'm just thinking this is just an over-exaggeration to please white conservatives. So, yes, I definitely do agree with you. But the problem is, man, and I'm not a conservative, but when you look at who is like defending, freedom of speech, defending men when they are, accused of sexual assault, it's not liberals. Like, I mean, it just seems like liberals are just like
Yeah, man, it's just
You
the
know,
labels,
women
bro.
are always right, men are always wrong.
Yeah, you know what? It's just the labels, bro. It's like, that's why I hate being in any type of group because I don't want to get painted with that brush. You know what I'm saying? But I know what you mean about what you see in the media. It does look that way. It does. And I also think people use things as ammunition to help their side. Like what's going on now in Virginia with that governor with the blackface. I don't know if you heard about that. I see some conservatives I see some conservatives speaking up about it, but if he was a Republican, they wouldn't be speaking up about it. Like, some things are done because it helps your team. It's not about the issue that you think it is. It's about whatever helps them at the moment. And I see that on the left and I see that on the right. That's why I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah. I'm an independent too, and I do agree with you on what you said about Tulsi Gabbard. I do like her platform, and she is attacked simply because she is anti-war. She is against the military-industrial complex.
Right.
I support people like her. I also support people like Cynthia McKinney. I think if Cynthia McKinney would have ran against Obama, I mean, if she had as much attention as Obama, I think Cynthia McKinney would have won. So yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with you on that. I see what you're saying. Like, I'm an independent too, but man, when you just look at the liberal media, man, it just feels like they are anti-free speech, anti-male, anti-comedy. It's just everywhere. It's just
a lot of antis, right?
Everything.
You said a lot of antis.
Yeah, and I feel like I just wish if Democrats would just speak against that big. We're not really like that. We don't hate all men, but it just feels like men are always being lectured, and especially in the black community, as much as going on with black men, like, do we really need to constantly be beating up on black men and just ignoring them, or should we elevate black men, teach them leadership and economics instead of just attacking them, ignoring them, writing articles talking about they are the straight white people of the black community, or just some nonsense. It's just not too much. But yeah, anyways, I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. But
yeah, you good, man.
That's the only problem.
And you got it, brother. Thank you, Tariq, for the phone call, man. We disagree on some things, but some things we see eye to eye on. I just want to remind you that it's not liberal media. It's called corporate media. It's money media. That's what it really is, bro. And if you look at it like I have, 90% of our media is owned by 5 corporations. It used to be 6, now it's only 5. Two of the 6 merged, and now it's 5. Okay, so when we talk about media, you got to realize you're talking about money. You're not talking about liberal. It's not about ideology. They are more fixed, more attached to the dollar than they are the left or the right. So that's real talk, man. But I feel how as a person who's seeing this stuff, I would probably feel the same way if I didn't know about the corporate connections to this stuff. As somebody who's in the business, I can tell you, bro, it is tough. I wanted to actually bring Jesse Lee Peterson on the show. I was on this show, and he tried to get me, he tried to trigger me. It didn't work. And I went on this show, and we disagreed. I'll go anywhere. I'm going to be me wherever I go. I wanted to bring him on the show and put him on a panel and just say that he was supposed to come on, but he we'll see if he comes on, because I think Jesse Lee Peterson is a comedian. I don't even look at him as real. I want to bring him on with some comedians and have fun, because and try to get him to finally admit that he's just doing it for show. He's just doing it for show, man. I don't believe him at all. There's some other people I don't believe either. Every time I turn around, they jumping on one movement after another. Whatever's hot is where they are. So I seen a lot of funky stuff. So yeah, anyway. So look, brother, I'm going to the next one, but I appreciate you, Tariq, for that phone call, man. Yeah, man, that toxic masculinity stuff, like, gosh, there are some dumb guys out there. There are some dumb guys. I just want to remind men, as much as I feel like they overplay that BS where they try to paint men with one brush, anytime you try to paint anyone with a broad brush, you're damn wrong, okay? That's always wrong, because there's gray areas, there's people are diverse. But I just want to remind all the guys, man, if you are a person who's a decent human being, right? And you would never think about trying to get somebody, lick it up, and just wait till they get drunk and sleep with them, or they don't even know they slept with you. Like, if you a person who would, you don't put your hands on women, or even you don't just walk around sucker punching dudes and running. Like, you're a real man. If you're a real man and you're responsible and you take care of your life, and you're known in your community as being an upstanding individual, and that's the way you live your life. You don't have to hide from mirrors. You can look in the mirror and feel good about who you are. I want you to know, everybody not like you, bruh. Yeah, come on now. See, everybody's not like you. I just want to remind you that there are some scumbags out here. Like, I know Gillette's playing that to get women. Because, look, man, women buy most of the stuff. Okay? That's what guys got to realize. That it was about money. That wasn't about left and right. Women are consumers. They're the number one consumer. They can insult guys. They don't care. Because guess who goes and buys the razors? See, they did the math. I'm trying to tell you, they did the math on this. They realized that women buy the razors for the men. And when they go to the store, they're going to pick up them Gillette razors. They don't care. They don't give a damn if you like them or not. They knew that they're going to lose maybe 3% of men who were pissed off at that commercial, but they knew they would gain another 10% of women, because they know women do more to shopping. They did the numbers. Do not think for a second that they did not crunch the numbers on that. They are not stupid. They hired a confirm. They hired a firm. They did a poll. They did a test. They had a fixed environment. They decided what they were going to do. They weighed it out. Why do you think they never took that commercial off the air? They didn't take that commercial off the air because I am right. I am right. I know what the hell they were doing. So I just want to remind everybody that money, it's Wu-Tang, Tariq. It's Wu-Tang, Wolfpack. It's Wu-Tang, Truth Bomb activists. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Come on now. That's what it is. Stop saying left and right. Say money and stocks. Stocks and, anyway. All right, guys. I feel you, man. I feel you. Woo, what I got going on in the chat room, man? Oh, man. What's this? Okay. Jay Bird says a real man treats people how he'd want to be treated. I give it up for that. Yeah, man, just sometimes, man, I know sometimes we look through life through our own lens. And Tariq's probably a good guy. He sounds like a good guy to me. And he probably doesn't look like this. Like, we've all known that guy. I was like, man, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why was he, I knew people that were screwed up and didn't have ethics back in high school. And I was like, where did they get, like, why don't you have any ethics? Like, why don't you, like, there's some things I just wouldn't do. I wouldn't steal from my friends. I knew guys like that. They were scumbags. Like, sleep with I would never, like, I have friends I've had for 30 years. Would never sleep with my friend's girl. And I knew guys who just didn't give a damn. They didn't care. And it's like, so there are, I just never understood, like, all these women out here, why you gotta mess with her? I thought that was your friend. Why would you do that? And the guy's like, hey, man, I'm a guy. I got to do what I got to do. I'm like, man, that's how you get shot. But not because you'll get shot, but because it's just dumb. It's wrong. Like, some people have no moral compass, is what I'm saying. And I know some women that don't have moral compasses either. I met some of them, too. You know what I mean? A lot of guys say they got pregnant just to get the abortion money. It's crazy. It exists in a lot of places. But one of the things I love about progressives that Tariq may not know, man, is I met a lot of progressives that keep it real. Like, they don't fall into that liberal, that they don't fall into what you're saying. Like, they will defend men and they will defend women if they feel like they deserve to be defended, but they will call it like they see it. Like, that's my type of people, whether they are liberal or progressive or conservative or something in between, as long as you call it like it is, okay? then I'll ride with you. I'm not in the labels, man, and I just think we need to move beyond that. When it comes to politics, pick the best candidate. Pick the best candidate for you. Tariq said he voted for Trump. Hey, look, man, I don't knock people who voted for Trump. I disagree. That's my choice. I'm sure you made your choice based on what you believe. What I'm saying is, going forward, do your best to vet your candidates and try to choose the best candidate, not the best party. You know, we're people over party, policy over party. It's not about the party; it's about the policies that they're trying to implement. And I did a State of the Union analysis that I just put out on YouTube that breaks it all down about the State of the Union. And believe me, when you watch that on my YouTube, and you know what, guys, you will see, if you have a question, if I have the guts to call out certain stuff, if I had the guts to call out these prime people, these icons in the Democratic Party, all those questions will be answered if you watch that video. Because I know that in that video, I'm mocking people that don't get mocked. Because there's like a rule of people that you cannot mock. They can't be taken to the woodshed. And I take them to the woodshed anyway, because I don't do this for a trip to MSNBC or a CNN appearance. I do this because I believe it, and I do it because I keep it real with my audience. So I want you please to check that out, and I think you will enjoy it. All right. Facebook people, man, I need to check Facebook. I haven't checked Facebook tonight. Let me go see my Facebook people real quick. Wow. George Scheller said that Dave from Stone Mountain had a lot of good points. We're all in this together. I believe I'm with you, George. We are all in this together. I agree. Mary Knox said that Tulsi Gabbard's legislation is very much focused on domestic issues. We need to get that word out. She needs to get that word out and let that be known. Okay, so you just can't tell people to go to the website. She got to be known for it. So she's got to get out and be in not just in the same circle. She needs to get out and mix it up and diversify. I'd love to see her in a viral video. I'd love to see her mixing it up with some people of different colors and complexions, ethnicities, orientations, whatever. I just want to see her push the envelope. I think she would shine. I think she's a naturally. Joe Rogan, in that interview, she was laid back and calm and relaxed. She's very, she seems very cool. I've talked to people who've met her in person that say that Tulsi Gabbard is a very down-to-earth person. So I think the rest of the world needs to know that. That is a selling point. Because I don't think, for instance, I don't think that everybody in this race is really down-to-earth people. Okay? I don't think that everybody in this race is really who they say they are. I think we got some Amy Klobuchars. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Okay? And I have it on good recommendation that Tulsi Gabbard is actually a good person. So I think more people need to know that about her. And it goes a long way. I think it goes further than people give it credit for. Kerry Mack says, people over party. Too true. Thank you. Helen Ford says, I defend the truth with no regrets as to who it benefits. Yeah, that's why we love you, Helen. Lisa Never says, wow, you're on late. Just tuning in. Thank you, Nessa. Thank you, Nessa. Yeah. I have been working so much today, but you know what? We're going to have a show anyway. Because I can't just not have a show because I was working late. Freedom Friday is for the callers, not for me. So we got to do it anyway. Yeah, Cynthia Raymond says, what about the lady who's running? Marianne something. Can't remember her last name. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to look that up. I want to look up that person's name because I saw it. I think she is, I think she's an independent, right? Let me look that up before we end the show tonight. All right. I want to say Marianne Williamson. They say, who is Marianne Williamson? And so, guys, since we don't know, let's put this on the screen so people will know, okay? Let's do this. What the hell? Her name is Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson is 2020 presidential candidate and also Oprah's spiritual advisor. Okay, a little different, a little. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, spiritual advisor. This screen is like really doing some crazy stuff. This website sucks. It's got way too many ads on it, guys. Bam, gotta get rid of it. Okay, her name is Marianne Williamson. She's connected to Oprah in some way, which means I'm sure she'll be well funded. Money will not be an issue, okay? Let's make that clear. Yeah. I want to go here, man. 434, my friend, Mystical Carter. You still there, brother? Okay. I don't know if they're there or not. What else? Facebook, real quick. Facebook. Anything else? So Marianne Williamson is her name, and she has friends in high places, and she's a spiritual advisor. So she may have a different. Okay, Mary Knox has just brought up a Facebook page.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so eager to speak with you tonight.
I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so eager to speak with you tonight and so grateful that you came. I want to start out by telling you a little something about my childhood. My parents were married over 50 years. They loved each other. They were a good marriage. But I think in looking back today, we might have thought of them as a bit of an odd couple. My mother came not from a wealthy family, but from a well-to-do family. She grew up among certain, they had nicer things. Not wealthy, but they had nicer things.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry I can't hang in there for that, but be sure to check it out. Marianne Williamson, I don't know what her platform is, but she's a candidate. Also heard about a Peter Yang. There's a caller, one of my callers from Japan who phones in often. He was telling us about Peter Yang for like 4 months ago, right? So Peter Yang is also a candidate that's under the radar or beneath the radar. Maybe we should check him out as well. Get up for Mr. Yang. All right. 541, you're live on Freedom Friday. I got a couple more minutes left. If you got a comment, go right ahead.
Hey, Tim. How you doing? It's Joe out here in Oregon.
Hey, Joe. How you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling pretty good this week. I just wanted to tell you that Marianne Williamson is one of the co-founders of the Course in Miracles. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. That's her claim to fame. It was a pop cult thing, sort of like along the lines of the Deepak Chopra, very, West Coast. And basically they imagined communications from Christ or God. And they wrote this whole book, which is basically the Sermon on the Mount expanded, but using basically their own words. I don't know anything about her other than she's a beautiful dreamer, but that's all I know. And I wanted to just commend you for standing up for Tulsi Gabbard. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And I think so many people who watch you and listen to you are recovering Democrats. And these recovering Democrats, Tim, are looking to sort of validate their thinking, because the likes of the networks like MSNBC and CNN and all of the major networks, even Fox, has really gone off the deep end. Just espouse sort of an anti-socialist, failing to realize that we have a post office, an army, an FBI, that we have border, we have customs. These are all social services. But Tulsi, as you say, she's done 2 tours in Iraq. She's a veteran. I did 1 tour in Vietnam and had to be hospitalized for 9 months because it blew my mind. And I'm sure she saw a lot of stuff over there. There's a veteran who dies almost every hour, every day, because of the atrocities of our country around the world. We used to have a very active Peace Corps, and now it seems like our Peace Corps is some giant aircraft carrier heading to the Caribbean to intimidate the poor people of Venezuela. I think that Democrats cannot accept the fact that what happened in the last election was so incredibly corrupt that the only thing that they could do is to vilify Russia in order to deflect from their criminality. And we cannot lose the fact that, as I say on most of my posts on Facebook, hashtag cheat Bernie, get Trump. Donald Trump is simply the byproduct of our political dysfunctionality in America and our inability to have free and fair elections. And until we can have fair elections, our democracy is a lost cause, and we will fall further into a fascist oligarchy. And with that, I hope it cheers you up, because I love you very much.
Hey, love you back,
Thanks,
Joe.
Jim.
Thank you for the phone call, man. And thank you for the well wishes and the support. And when it comes to Tulsi, and you know what, you're not the first person, Joe, to thank me personally for my support of Tulsi Gabbard. I just want the best person for the job, the best person to lead the country. And I don't much care if that makes me popular or unpopular. Whoever that ends up being, I just support Tulsi because I see that in her. What she's about, I think, is important, and we need to. I'm not going to add on. I'm not going to pile on, and I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Not in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. That's just who I am. So, and I think a person who threw it all away in order to support Bernie Sanders in 2016 deserves the benefit of the doubt and deserves to be heard out and deserves to have an opportunity to run a race and not be smeared and relegated to obscurity because the corporate media doesn't want to play ball. Okay, so I think when you come out, and I feel the same way about Nina Turner, right? Same thing. I'm just one of those people, Joe. I like supporting underdogs. You don't know how many people came to me and said, Tim, you need to go with Trump or go with Hillary. Bernie has no shot. Go with Trump or go with Hillary. This is what I do for a living. And I still decided to stay with Bernie. And then when Bernie was gone, I didn't go with Trump or with Hillary. What did I do? So I went with Jill Stein. There was a real life price to pay. Not just price to pay because we ended up with Trump in office, but a real life financial and career price that was paid because of that decision.
90 seconds.
Real life opportunities that went bye-bye, Tim Black. Now, it's easy for people to say that's what they would do, but when you're not in a position to have to make that decision. So, but you are who you are. Not because what you say you are, by what you do. You are who you are because of what you do. We have people who think they are who they are because of what they say out their mouths. So we just got to stand up. And I think there are people out here who are very decent people who have been sacrificed, who have made sacrifices in their lives, who know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. And I salute you. You person, whoever you are who are watching or listening to this podcast right now, who has taken less money, who has lost a position, who has lost friends, who has lost in some way, but for a bigger purpose. I salute you. I respect you. I know how it feels, and I love you for it, and I appreciate you for it, and I want you to know you did the right thing.
10 seconds.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for being here tonight. Shout out to everybody who called in. I know we didn't have a lot of callers. I started the show late. Everybody is not up till midnight. It's after midnight. But I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Remember, you don't argue with people. As Dave from Stone Mountain said, don't argue with people. You never change their mind. All you can do is offer them some information. Give them one thing to think about. If you give a person, they got Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Periscope and Reddit and all these places and justinform.com. You got all these places vying for attention. If you get to give a person one thing to think about, you have done. See, we want too much. We don't realize how big that is. Do you know how much the advertisers spend to get you to think about what they want you to think about for 2 seconds? Think about all of the commercials they put out. Millions of dollars are spent to try to get your attention for 30 seconds or a minute. If you are able to get somebody's attention, just get across one thing, one fact, one bit of information. Tell them something that will resonate with who they are. You may tell them, you know what? I know people are pissed off with Trump, but you know what? We were deporting people in 2015, in 2014, in 2013, in 2012. In fact, Obama set deportation records. And MSNBC and CNN hardly ever talked about it. See you later. Talk to you later. And just leave it alone. That if you give them that information, that will open the door. Like for you and I, sometimes one piece of information is just enough to put your foot in the door to open it a little bit. It just cracks it just a little bit for a little bit of light to shine through. And it's up to that person to take the next step. Or maybe the next week or 2 weeks later, somebody else will come by and they'll say something. Like, hey, man, did you know, did you know that Hillary Clinton was supposed to get this money to Haiti and it never made it? They raised millions and millions and millions of dollars and that money never materialized. They're supposed to build 5,000 homes and only 2 homes actually got built. And the money somehow disappeared. Did you know about that? Did you know that the Pentagon is missing like $1 trillion? They don't even know where it went. It's just gone. And they're upset about, and we got people on the Republican side upset about food stamps when it's only like 1% of our budget. We have trillions of dollars missing at the Pentagon and nobody went to jail. They don't know what happened to it. It's gone. Trillions. So, let's sprinkle some facts on them. Just sprinkle some facts on them. That's all you do. You sprinkle some facts on them. What else, guys? Keep your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Now, your cornbread is something that's important to you. It may be your privacy. It may be your voting rights. It may be your freedom of speech. Tariq was talking about freedom of speech. It may be your freedom of speech. We don't let anybody take our cornbread. And you may remember it from a movie called Life, starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And my friend, or one of my icons, Bernie Mac, the late, great Bernie Mac. Okay? But you don't let nobody take your cornbread, guys. We need to hold on. We need to fight for our cornbread. So don't give it up without a fight. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. And put some butter on it or some cinnamon or however you like to have it. I like honey and butter on mine. I'm Tim Black. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Remember, mend the fence with a friend. Don't be mad at people. Don't be holding on to grudges. Let them grudges go. I'm telling you, it's good for your health. It's good for your wealth. All right? Let go of grudges. Some of y'all upset with somebody, don't remember what it was about. You upset about stuff, you don't remember what the cause was. You don't remember what the person did, sitting around upset. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. Truth. Funny.
I think I want to end this. I want to end this with this Tulsi Gabbard piece.
The pursuit of peace. Do you think Assad is our enemy? Assad is not the enemy of the United States because Syria does not pose a direct threat to the United States.
What do you say to Democratic voters who watched you go over there, and what do you say to military members who have been deployed repeatedly in Syria, pushing back against Assad?
People who have been deployed to Syria have been there focused on their mission, which has been to defeat ISIS. Our troops have not gone to Syria to wage yet another costly, destructive regime change war. And many troops I hear from express frustration at the fact that our country continues to wage senseless, costly regime change wars, followed by nation-building missions, leading to situations like we see in Afghanistan. So many examples of our troops being deployed, their lives put on the line, without understanding what the clear mission or objective is and how that mission actually serves the security of the American people in the United States.
Which I think a lot of Americans would agree with you there. But again, going back to Assad, Assad is not an enemy. Is he an adversary of the United States?
We have to look to who poses a threat to the United States and the American
I understand that, but there are a lot of people who don't pose a direct military threat to the United States who consider themselves to be adversaries of the United States. Vladimir Putin poses or considers America to be an enemy. We consider Russia to be an adversary. I'm just asking, do you consider Assad to be an adversary of the United States?
When I look at whether it's Syria or Turkey or Russia or China or other countries in the world, I look at what are their interests and are their interests counter to our interests.
So what would you say he is to the United States? If you cannot say that he's an adversary or an enemy, what is Assad to the U.S.? What is the word?
You can describe it however you want to describe it.
I want to know how you describe it.
My point is that whether it is Syria or any of these other countries, we need to look at how their interests are counter to or aligned with ours.
Are Assad's interests aligned with ours?
What are Assad's interests?
Assad seems interested in the slaughter primarily of his own people, in part. I mean, how does that line up? Survival, yeah.